Hey everyone, it's Luke here from LT Gaming and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another 6 Forgotten Wargames and this time we have a Far East theme. These underappreciated gems which may have dropped off with their player base offer rich historical settings and strategic depth, transporting you to pivotal conflicts across China, Japan and Korea. Whether it's commanding armies during ancient dynasties or leading your forces in feudal Japan, these wargames will challenge your tactical prowess while immersing you in a fascinating era. So make sure to stick around for the whole video to discover some of the most unique and underappreciated wargames that you need to check out. As usual, forgotten is not an insult here. We basically want to draw more attention to these games, and we have a huge amount of these done already, so you can go check out all of our other videos and I'll make sure to link the playlist below. It's a great joy as always to find new games for you to wishlist and buy, and although we do hit you in the wallet, it is a lot of fun. Please make sure to comment titles you think I missed or any extras that would fit onto this particular list. I'd love to hear from you as always. Okay, no more messing around, let's jump into 6 Forgotten Wargames with a Far East theme. And kicking off this list we have Nobunaga's Ambition Sphere of Influence, which could also be considered a grand strategy title. In this game you will step into the shoes of a daimyo and lead your clan to greatness during Japan's Sengoku period. This strategy game blends diplomacy, warfare and politics, challenging players to unify Japan by conquering territories and forging alliances in a richly detailed historical setting. And honestly, if you've never played one of these titles before, they are truly unique, with their UI being completely different to anything we see in the West, and I find that fascinating. The pros here include immersive historical strategy and diplomacy, with a huge variety of gameplay options, with deep systems for the players to get their teeth into. On the other hand, this is an all-encompassing title, and the gameplay may feel a little slow-paced and may not suit all players who just want to jump into the war element. It can also be overwhelming if you're not used to these games and their very unique UI, so newcomers may take some time to acclimatize here. If you're looking to wage war across Japan, this is one of the best titles to do it in. Now there is a more modern title called Nobunaga's Ambition Awakening. However, this still remains one of the best titles in the series and honestly the most well-rounded overall. This might sound a bit weird, but the unique selling point here is the uniqueness of the game. Every aspect is alien to the Western player, and it's truly something that you should experience. It's rated very positive on Steam at 83%, brought to us by Koei Tecmo, but isn't supported for the Steam Deck. One advantage of the newer title Awakening is that it is fully verified if that interests you. Next up, we pay a visit to our friends at the Wargame design studio with Korea 85. This game places you in the midst of a hypothetical Cold War scenario where tensions between North and South Korea escalate into a full-blown conflict. With detailed hex-based strategy, you must lead your forces through rugged terrain and complex military engagements, making every decision count in this tactical war simulator. This game is definitely more on the hardcore wargame end, with deep tactical and operational depth. If you're looking for a wargame to simulate realistic Cold War era military strategy, this is definitely one for you to pick up. Now, some people may say this has outdated graphics and a poor user interface, and to some level that is true. It also requires significant time and attention to detail. If you're a wargamer, I don't really see this being a problem, as the tactical depth here is absolutely brilliant, and what a great scenario to play, a Korean War conflict in 1985, truly intriguing. It's one of the more hardcore and unusual games on the list, but I really recommend this studio. Make sure to check out all of the other titles that they do, and definitely, they deserve your support. I'll make sure to link their website in the description below. Moving onwards, we have Shogun's Empire Hex Commander, where players manage a clan during feudal Japan, engaging in turn-based tactical battles and managing their empire's economy and diplomacy. Combining hex-based combat with strategy, you'll need to outmaneuver your enemies on the battlefield while maintaining control over your lands. This game has unique turn-based combat with tactical depth, and it blends strategic empire management with warfare. The game does have some simplistic graphics. There is also a mobile version, which sometimes I avoid. However, this does seem like a great title on Steam. There are smaller scale campaigns with limited replayability, but overall it's a really nice title and it's priced very well. If you're looking for some Japanese flavoured wargaming fun, there's not a lot of options out there, bar the obvious ones, and this is a really great find. It's rated mostly positive at 76%, which also helps to back this up as a recommendation. Talking of truly unique finds, Ancient Warfare: The Han Dynasty is something I stumbled across this week. In this title, you take command of vast armies in a tactical wargame set during one of the most defining periods of Chinese history. Manage your troops, plan strategic battles, and secure your empire's future as you contend with rival factions and hostile forces. I guess the best way to describe this game is like a Chinese challenger to the Total War series, and honestly it does some things really well. It has a very unique historical setting and the battles are extremely detailed with many units. Although they don't quite live up to the graphical fidelity of the Total War series, the scale of them is extremely impressive. On the downside, the visuals, like I said, don't quite live up to the Total War series, and there is a high learning curve here for newcomers of the genre, as once again, like Nobunaga's Ambition, it does things slightly differently to Western titles. Also, you may have some issues that this is a Chinese developer, but the game is on Steam, and overall the English support was good except for cutscenes where it was all in Chinese, but honestly there were subtitles, so it didn't bother me. Look, our job at LT Gaming is to put games onto your plate. Whether you seek to devour them is up to you. I personally found the game to be very interesting and the tactical battles really were fun. There's some really unique elements here and the strategic layer is also very well thought out. Look, anytime I find a game like this which I've never heard of before, I'm always excited and I had to try this one out. Perhaps you will feel the same way. It's rated 86% very positive on Steam and is also playable on the Steam Deck. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button, leave us a comment about what you're thinking, and subscribe to the channel. You can also support LT Gaming by hitting that join button below the video and joining our Discord. Both me and Tom really appreciate all the interaction. Coming up next, we have a title from our friends at Avalon Digital called SGS Taipings. This game puts you in control during the Taiping Rebellion, one of China's bloodiest civil wars. And honestly, in the West, we don't know enough about this conflict, and the game really opened the door for me to learn about this period of Chinese history. As an epic war game, players must manage resources, lead armies, and navigate political instability as they try to emerge victorious in this historically rich strategic experience. I've covered the game on the channel before, and I love the unique artwork in the SGS games, the smooth user interface, and the way that for a war game it just runs really well. There's a super rich historical context with this title, and it offers a unique focus on the Taiping Rebellion. On the downside, I feel like the SGS engine needs some upgrades. It's aging a little at this stage, and this game may be complex for casual players. It takes me a while sometimes to jump back into it. It is definitely on the more complex side of the SGS titles also. If you fancy something a bit easier, maybe check out Montezuma. It's a really simple one to understand and learn the mechanics of the SGS games. But if you want to dive into a really rich historical strategy war game with some amazing music, very beautiful artwork, and overall really solid gameplay, then this is definitely a title to consider, and also make sure to check out the rest of the SGS library. As we're talking about the Far East, SGS Korea is also one of my favourites. There's also some lunatic who follows me around the comments saying that I'm paid by Avalon Digital to feature SGS games. I really have never received anything from them. They do obviously send me their titles. I'm just a fan, and I think that comes across in the way I portray their games. Taipings is rated 80% very positive on Steam, and although it's unsupported on Steam Deck, I have played it and it works. And topping off this list is the absolutely brilliant Sengoku Jidai, Shadow of the Shogun. Set during Japan's Sengoku period, Sengoku Jidai brings turn-based tactical combat to life. Players command armies of samurai, ashigaru, and cavalry as they fight to unify Japan. The game emphasizes historical accuracy and tactical depth, rewarding players who can outthink their opponents on the battlefield. Now, I previously recommended Pike and Shot, and I reached out to Slytherin to ask me if they'd send me this older title, and I thought, you know, I'll give it a go. And honestly, I think it's now one of my favourite in the series. I absolutely love Field of Glory 2 Medieval, but this game has a certain special flavour to it. I also want to shout out SnuggleBunny, who is a fellow YouTuber who recommended this game and the series to me. Really enjoyed his videos. I'll make sure to link his channel in the description if you want any tutorials or further detail on these games. He also has a mod called East vs West, which I'd highly recommend you check out within game. I'm a huge fan of the aesthetic in this game, but they do give you options to use standard green tiles if you want to in the options. The pros here include that wonderful, authentic historical setting, with the challenging tactical combat, which is a standout of the entire series. There are some dated graphics and the animations aren't quite up to the latest titles in the series, but overall this is a wonderful title and I really highly recommend it. It's certainly one that I'm considering streaming on the channel, and I'd also like to go back and revisit each one of these games with a unique review. It's something I'm planning for the future. So look, if you like massive tactical battles where you have to think and strategize, this is truly a gem that you must pick up and play, especially if you like the Japanese aesthetic of the period. It's rated 74%, mostly positive on Steam, which I think is a bit criminally underrated. Most people seem to have an issue with the fact that units can break, run away, and they continue to chase, which is one of the game's mechanics. It's simply a spillover, I think, from its board game roots, and honestly, it's never bothered me. I've had some wonderful, massive battles in this one already, and I'm quite deep into a Sengoku Jidai campaign, and I'm really enjoying it, so it's a high recommendation from me. So there we go, LT gamers, that's our list of 6 forgotten wargames with a Far East theme. These games may not be the most well known, but they each offer something special for fans of strategy and history. Whether you're drawn to the tactical depth, unique settings, or the challenge of mastering new mechanics, these wargames are worth revisiting, and I always like to expand the player base of older games. If you're ready to explore new strategic frontiers, give these hidden gems a try. Thank you for watching. As always, I've been Luke from LT Gaming. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one.